It was a warm and quiet evening in August 1971. María Gómez Cámara stood in her small kitchen in Belmez de la Moralida, a village located in the hills of southern Spain. She was cooking, just like any other evening, not expecting anything unusual to happen. As Maria stirred her pot, she noticed something strange on the floor. It was a dark spot slowly appearing on the concrete. At first, she thought it was simply spilled water or maybe a stain, but soon the spot started to change to something else entirely. A face staring up at her.
¡Una cara! ¡Una cara! En el suelo hay una cara!
A face on the floor. At that moment, Maria had no idea her quiet life was about to change forever, and her kitchen would soon become known around the world for its mysterious faces that refused to disappear. Welcome to Red Siren. Tonight we are going to Spain, where in a small house, faces suddenly appeared on the floor. These faces kept showing up, changing and moving, leaving people confused and a little afraid. María Gómez Cámara was born in 1919 in Belmez, a small village in Andalusia, southern Spain. Her life was quiet and simple, mostly spent taking care of her family and home. She married Juan Pereira, and they had a son named Miguel. Maria never expected anything unusual to happen, until one evening in August 1971, when she was 52 years old, something strange happened that changed her life forever. But before we talk about what happened in Maria's kitchen, let's look at the history of the area. It might help explain the mystery. Belmez had an old history, full of secrets and stories. Over hundreds of years, many different people had come and gone. Romans, Moors from North Africa, and later Christians. Each group built houses, churches, and mosques and left their marks behind. Some of these buildings disappeared, but others stayed hidden underground, becoming lost to time. Even though no one thought about it, those forgotten stories were still there, just beneath their feet. And soon, in August 1971, one of these hidden secrets would come back in a way no one ever imagined. It appeared long before Maria lived there. The land beneath her house had been used as a cemetery. Old records showed it was once a burial ground, going back hundreds of years. At different times in history, this same place had also been the site of a mosque built by the Moors, and later, a church built by Christians. Over time, many people were buried there, and their bones stayed hidden underground for centuries. When Maria's kitchen floor was later dug up, bones from many different periods were found, some even without their skulls. When the dark spot became a face, people in the village quickly heard about it. Soon, neighbors came to Maria's house to see it for themselves. The face kept changing over time. One day it looked calm, the next day it seemed angry, sad, or even scared. Maria tried to clean the face with soap and water, but it wouldn't go away. She got tired, so she asked her husband Juan to help her. And he tried too. But it didn't work. So, feeling upset and bothered, he decided to break up the cement floor. And then they put down new cement, hoping the face would disappear forever. For about a week, everything was quiet again, and the family started feeling relief. But suddenly, another face appeared, and this time, it wasn't alone. Several more faces began to show up, each with a different look, changing even within hours. People from the village started talking, spreading stories, and wondering aloud what might be causing these faces. Soon, the news spread outside the village, and Belmez found itself at the center of attention, known by many for the strange faces appearing on Maria's floor. By now, the strange faces had scared everyone in the village. Even the mayor became worried and decided something had to be done. He ordered workers to dig up the kitchen floor to see what was hiding underneath. When they broke open the floor, no one was ready for what they found. Human bones buried under Maria's house. And the strangest part, some skeletons had no skulls. Fear spread quickly. People began whispering stories about spirits trapped beneath the floor. Were these the ghosts of people who died here long ago, reaching out for help? Or was something dark and evil waking up after centuries of silence? Even though some villagers wanted to believe it was just a trick, the faces kept appearing, one after another. Each new face made the mystery darker, pulling the whole village into a frightening story that no one could explain. After this, many different researchers started coming to investigate the mysterious faces. Scientists, paranormal experts, and university professors all came to Maria's house. They took careful photos, made detailed drawings, and even removed small pieces of the cement floor to examine in laboratories. In these labs, they tested the cement for chemicals, paint, or other substances to check if someone was creating the faces on purpose. Other researchers carefully watched how the faces appeared and changed over time. Some used special cameras to see if heat, moisture, or other natural causes were making the faces form. Others studied whether the expressions on the faces might have a meaning related to historical or religious symbols. Despite all their tests and careful studies, none of the researchers found proof that someone was faking the faces. Instead, each test only deepened the mystery and left everyone wondering what could possibly be causing this strange event.
Because there was an analysis done of, and there was no signs of brush strokes or any sort of drawing, that kind of dismisses the idea that it was something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
At least for the one that these faces that are analyzed. I mean, many of the faces are not analyzed, but the ones that are analyzed, there is no traces of painting detected. So
Mhm.
that seems to me very clear. Yeah.
As more faces appeared, people kept trying to understand what was happening. Some believed it was caused by Maria's mind, while others thought it had something to do with the history of the land or spirits of people buried below. But nobody knew for sure. Some witnesses believed that a few of the faces looked remarkably similar to Maria herself, or even members of her family. The most famous of these faces, La Pava, was said to resemble a woman who had connections to the town, possibly even Maria herself. After some time, people in the village began saying the faces looked like those buried under Maria's house. Others thought they resembled Maria's family members who had died years before. But still, nobody knew exactly who the faces belonged to. People did everything they could, but no one understood why the faces appeared. Faces kept showing up. Some looked like women, others like children or men, and they kept changing. The mystery never went away. Family's life and the house became a tourist attraction. People from all over the world came to Belmez, hoping to see the mysterious faces for themselves. But not everyone believed the faces were real. Some people thought it was just a trick. They said Maria's family could have painted the faces themselves, maybe to become famous or to make money from visitors. Even with these accusations, Maria's family kept telling everyone they didn't create the faces. They were confused too, and didn't know why the faces appeared in their house. In 2004, María Gómez Cámara passed away at the age of 85. After she was gone, the faces still appeared, but not as much as before. Some faces, like La Pava and El Pelao, are still visible today, covered with glass to keep them safe. They are a quiet sign of the mystery that once took over the village.
Around this house, there is it's a classical haunting narrative. Now the house is built on a graveyard. It's close to the church, and when the first face appeared, when the second appeared, then they put it away and they dig into the ground, and they found actually a human skeleton without a skull. And so that was clear, okay, this is an unquiet death, and so we have to bury these bones, and then everything will be okay. But that was not the case. Further faces occurred, and the faces occurred even over the years, And even nowadays, in another house, in the birth house of this Maria passed away in 2004, but these faces are still a topic.
The Belmez Faces remain a mystery. No one can say for sure how they got there. Some believe it was something beyond normal, while others think there's a simple explanation. Still, the faces are not forgotten. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Red Siren. Until next time, stay curious.